What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 5-2 show, Joe and Joe. Today we have a special guest, my man Ryan for Ryan's Vintage Cards. Listen, this guy, very unique. He has his own lane in the hobby. I definitely purchased some packs from him a while back. I purchased another maybe like a year later. Always fun. I mean, you get the most randomest cards. You know, he has chase cards. There's no one in the game that's giving you the bang for your buck than what he does. It's just the truth. I respect what he does. He really created a different lane, and we're definitely we're happy to have you on, man.
Oh, that's the kindest thing that I think I've heard yet by anybody. I've always get nice messages and stuff, but yeah, I love the hobby, and I never want to let anybody down, even if they're not going to get a chase card per se. There's do the chases every couple of weeks. But even if they don't get that, it's like, okay, well, if you didn't win the mantle, or if you didn't win the 57 Drysdale or whatever, like, okay, how can I make sure that this $95 gives them value and has them coming back? Because if they don't come back, then I don't get to make these little homemade packs, so that's awesome.
Yeah, man, it's really cool. And like, I mean, when I got it from you, I got like maybe like a old school peachy, and then all of a sudden you get I think you snuck a Tom Glavine 91 Don Russ in there or some autograph, like just something. So and when you're going through your packs, you're going from so many different levels of from your childhood, or maybe even cards that your uncle had or your dad had, and then cards that maybe when you were at the end of your collecting, when you kind of got into a teenager, and you remember those. So it's really a great feel. I wanted to ask you though, like, what was everybody got back into card collecting? Not everyone, but I know we did during COVID, and everybody's brain started getting crazy because they were home all day, and you went through your childhood cards. But what made you think of doing this, and what is your process into getting these packs set up?
Yeah, great question. Okay, well, first of all, the first part of that, I've been a musician for 25 years this year. So, I mean, 2020 hits, and I mean, over 20 years, right? And if you're a musician, like a serious musician like I am, that's all I ever did. Like, I graduated high school. The day I graduated, I knew what I was going to fucking be. Like, oh, I'm sorry. I heard you swearing before, so I dropped an F-bomb. Is that allowed?
Oh, yeah, all day.
All right, cock balls. Okay, well, here we go. So anyways, the reason I went back to cards, because I have a very limited skill set on my tool belt. I'm not great at a lot of things. And I mean, those mortgage payments, they're coming out every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. And I'm like, what am I going to do? There's a couple of like live. I would get on my music side of things. I would do like live streams, but that's only going to carry you so far. There's little, virtual tip jars and things like that. I was really feeling like I was going to be up shit creek, and I didn't know what to do. But I have this massive collection. My dad's 76. Together, he and I'm 44 now. Together, we never stopped collecting. This thing just grew and grew and grew, and we both have sort of come to those years where you kind of go, I don't need 1994 Flair sets. It's time to start paring this thing down. It's crazy. So I just was like, okay, well, let's start getting rid of some bulk. Absolutely. But we've also been going to autograph signings together, baseball card shows. When we couldn't communicate on music, we could communicate on baseball. So, you want to hang out with your dad. So you'd go to the baseball card show, and you'd meet Bob Gibson and these guys. And he raised me on this. So the collection was huge. We both agreed it was time to pare it down. So I started doing these mystery packs, right? And mystery packs, we've all been burned. There's a bunch of different there's some really cool mystery pack and repack, items on the market, but I'm literally just putting these things into team bags. I don't have any fancy homemade wax stuff, but a lot of the through the mail autographs that we have thousands of autographs. I don't need, 4 Andy Vance like autographs. I just don't need that. I'll keep one, and then I'll share the rest. And That's kind of how it came to be. And I blathered on so long now. What's the second half of that question?
Oh no, it was just that how did you come about, you know, basically what was your science behind the packs in terms of
Right.
like, the collation, and how did you
Yeah,
figure out what you're gonna do, how many? That
sure.
I was because no one does them like so I was like, how did he figure out how is he gonna do it this way? And
Yeah.
so that always it was very interesting the way you did it.
Yeah, and I try and maintain that because if I don't want anybody to get a bum box, or sometimes people get starter packs. You can get 5 packs or 20 packs. So say you're getting a 20 pack box. There's 25 cards per pack, including the one auto. I want to make sure that, and in that box you're getting anywhere from 7 to 10 cards from the 50s, 10 to 20 cards from the 60s, a big stack of 70s. And I kind of just eyeball that, but I hand collate them all. And then and obviously more 80s, and then you do have your filler from the junk wax era. But some of it's really nostalgic, and there are some pretty cool inserts and things from that era as well. But always making sure, I call it true vintage, 50s to 70s, right, to 78 or whatever. I always want to make sure that there's a healthy amount of that to keep guys coming back.
It's awesome. I feel like it's what's really cool is that a lot of people got back into collecting during the pandemic. Unfortunately, a lot of really bad people got into it. And I mean, I say bad and like bad for the hobby, bad for people who are new to the hobby, listening to somebody who just started collecting again, giving you advice on like thousands of dollars to spend. So I think it's cool that, out of the boom or whatever, there are guys like you that did positive things, because that's really cool. A lot
Well
of
said, man.
that we've had on here have been, just jumped on that on the wave of the
Right.
2020, which is awesome. For me, it was like, it's weird because I feel like there's more people that are into that now. Like around 2019 on my Instagram, I did one giveaway ever, and it was like all Hall of Fame junk wax, and I made these little packs and like little contest, and I gave it to some kid, and he was just like, whatever. And these were like, I don't know, 300 cards with all legends in there. So for me, if I got that for free, I'd be like, that's great. So I feel like there's more people that are into like, the
Yeah.
stadium.
Dude, I get it. I opened this today and I pulled 2 of those Nolan Ryan tuxedo cards, and I think it's fucking rad.
Yeah.
That still gets me going because this is nostalgia. If you want to talk slabs and stuff like that, I'm just not your guy. It doesn't interest me. It doesn't move me. So I look at the hobby the same way I look at music. Those slabs really play like a really shiny Rihanna song, and I'm a little bit more Tom Petty. That's just at the end of the day.
Gotcha.
That's dope. I
That's
get
cool.
it. I totally get what you mean.
Yeah.
And that's what's great about the hobby is there's something for everyone. There's no rules. When people
Yep.
say, "Oh, you have to do it right. You have to do this. So you have to." You listen. Whatever you like, you enjoy. That's the whole point of it being what it is. Because when you were a kid, we didn't have those things. No one cared about slabs. No one cared about if the card's perfectly centered. If you had a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie, I don't care if the thing had a crease. Like I got a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't, So it was like that whole feeling. You could open up a 89 score box, right? Box and pull some fun cards and still enjoy. Who cares? It's fun.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the hobby. People that are so obsessed. If you look at it as just a business, then you're not in my lane. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
No.
Yeah, certain things are, if you get a card, you want to flip it, great. But like the hobby's the hobby, man. And if you don't enjoy it, then, those are the people that's why people like you and, past guests we had on, we try to bring people on that kind of have the same idea and thought process as we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm in the same lane for sure. And there's no, like you said, there's no rules. There's no begrudging those people.
No.
Those guys are not going to shop Ryan's vintage. That's fine. That was weird. I referred to myself in the third person. I
Hey,
don't like
you
it.
did the Ricky Henderson,
It was the. But yeah, no, I've got some real loyal fellas that keep coming by. sometimes every couple of weeks, and super, super grateful for them. And I never want to let them down. So even like sometimes, you'll get a chase and sometimes you don't. But there's always lots of like, the chase cards being the top tier, obviously. And I got another one starting tomorrow where there's actually going to be 3 mantles, 62, a 62 All-Star, and a 65.
So how many total be in that one? How many total packs?
How many total packs?
Yes, sir. Like
as many as folks order. Yeah. So
right.
so those packs have already been made. And they're up there and they're waiting to kind of go into a box. And then I'll just, at the end of a weekend, I'll take all the orders. I always have enough inventory where I can go, okay. I mean, I think the most orders I think I ever did was like something like just over 50 orders total, which was like, that was a busy weekend. And, you got to do an order, get up, stretch and stuff. That's almost too much. But like, hey, happy to have the business.
Yeah.
Real.
Something that Joe said before, which me and Joe talk about a lot, is like how the hobby's changed. So when you're a kid and you get that Griffey rookie or that Don Mattingly rookie, like to you, that thing, it's like incredible. It's your card.
Yeah.
That aspect of the hobby is dead now. Not only because the base cards are just destroyed. Like, what's your thoughts on, like, for me, I look at it like now, like if I was a kid now, growing up in the hobby, I would like discouraged because I'd be like, say Mookie Betts is my favorite player, and I somehow get a Mookie Betts rookie card, and then some kid's like, dude, I got the auto fucking refractor gold at 50.
Yeah,
that would like, but when I was a kid, man, and I got those rookie cards, the Eric Davis, the Mattingleys.
Yeah.
Me and Joe older than you just a little bit, and so but we collected in the same era, and it's like I feel like now, what do you think about that, like the way new cards are? In one regard, I mean, I love inserts and parallels and refractors and all that autos game use, but it has to be like a balance. It has to be like, all right, it's worth it for me to get this box, and I'm going to buy this box, get maybe the rookie card of the guy I want, get one shitty or an auto of some dude who's not even known, and I'm not getting anything close to some sick card. And it's like this exclusive thing. What are your thoughts on the way the hobby is now?
If I can be so blunt, I think the hobby generally is for, I really want to craft this like it's a verse in a tune. It's like the guy from The Simpsons that runs the comic book store. It's the guy in the tracksuit that maybe, eats the craft dinner. I love craft dinner, but he eats the craft dinner like 4 times a week. And he's just waiting for Toys R Us to open to just clean them out of everything they got. And it's just like, those, I don't understand. Like, I have like a life outside the hobby, and it's like, the hobby is, for me, I'm not answering it very articulately, but I don't understand that. So I wouldn't even I don't even think my comment would even, I don't even know that anything I would have to say would hold water. Yes, discouraging. Adults took the fun out of it long ago. And, I mean, honestly, other than like when I'm playing guitar, I think probably the most like at peace, selfishly, like when there's nobody around, I feel is when I'm actually putting these packs together. It's just like throw a movie on in the background or a ball game if it's spring or summer. And
you're back.
I mean, I'm back in time. I'm back on 85 Topps, Eric Davis.
Yep.
And that's just that's where I belong. Yeah.
Question.
What a great call. 85 Topps, Eric Davis. That card's incredible. That was one of the hottest cards in 85. Like, because, like the McGuire's, like, whatever. No one really, okay, you're on the Olympic card, but like Eric Davis was a highly touted prospect. What a legend, dude. What an awesome player. And a great card.
If he never got hurt, he would have went down. He'd have been a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely. So. No, aesthetically, I would take the Eric Davis and even the Joe Carter out of that set over the Maguire Olympic card. Just an opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now
I
that's
like
a
the
fun
Goomer
set.
in there.
Yeah.
That would be a fun box to open, even now. Just an 85 tops. I mean, come on. Like,
Man.
Totally.
Perfect. Hey, so going back to that era, what were the
Sure.
guys that you collected back then? Were there certain players in your childhood that you collected more? Or?
I'm so happy you asked that, man. Yeah, I was wondering if I might get asked that tonight. So I'm from Vancouver Island, and so we don't have obviously we don't have a major league team, and then right across the water is Vancouver proper, the city. We don't they don't have a major league team either. But when I was a kid, they had a AAA team. So a lot of guys at the end of their careers would come down there, like Leon Bull Durham, Jose Lean, Chico Lean, Kelly Gruber came over from the Jays, and he was that looks delicious. Yeah, I was always a fan of nice fellas that I met. So like Eduardo Perez on his way up, Garrett Anderson on his way up, Marcel Latchman, the manager of the Angels at the time during the '94 strike. He came down to scout the AAA guys because the AAA guys could still play. He was awesome. My favorite player, though, of all, there's two guys. There's one guy from the '50s that my dad wrote to, who would come up here and go fishing with us. He's a former St. Louis Brown, Cincinnati Redleg. We're going way back. Jim Dyke was his name. He played on the St. Louis Browns with Satchel Paige. He's got a 1953 Topps card, 55, not 55, 56 is his last card with the Baltimore Orioles. He was Brooks Robinson's roommate. Jim had the best stories. He passed away in '99, but I got to be around him when I was a teen, 12, 13, 14, really impressionable age. He was awesome. And then later, way later, I kept running into, because Seattle is just south of us, and I'm a long suffering Seattle Mariners fan. Damn it. They had this closer during the Lou Piniella years, and his name was Norm Charlton.
Oh man,
he was cool. He was so cool. And every trip we'd go down there, I would keep, the parking lots of the players were so much more accessible in those days. I was a hunter, man. I just was super like an aggressive kid getting autos. Like I know where they're, that's Lee Guterman's truck. Like I really had the shit memorized. Random
great
guy.
Lee Guterman, he played for the Yankees too, big lefty.
Yes, that's right. Super lanky. Yeah.
It's
but
funny because you're saying you were talking about what's his name? What guy did you just say?
Norm Charlton.
Norm Charlton. When he was with the Reds and they were the Nasty Boys with Dibble and Randy Myers. Hey, they had the sickest bullpen one of the greatest bullpens. Those three guys were ridiculous. They were crazy too, but they were like really good. Yeah.
He, obviously there's that great video where he takes out Scioscia when he was still with the Reds too. And Scioscia was he wasn't a little guy, huge catcher, and Charlton just didn't give a shit. He was just a really, really cool, nice guy though. Absolute redneck though. Show up to the Kingdome in Seattle with his Ducks Unlimited shirt on, and and huge mullet, but. The point being, signed everything. Jay Buhner was another great one. I liked those guys that I would meet, and they were kind. Just those were some of my, just rattling them off the top of my head. I also, even though I wasn't alive for it, I'm born in '79. I love the early '70s A's dynasty teams. Those were just full of characters, man, and beyond Reggie, but like Bando and Campaneris and those guys. I became a real fan of that, of going back in time and looking at those guys.
Yeah,
and probably one of the best uniforms in all the sports. Those
100%.
Yeah.
That's a great question, man. Thank you. Blah blah blah.
What about now? Do you still collect, or are you just more? Will you go buy a card, buy a box, or buy old stuff, or? You know,
I
for personally, for you, just for you.
Yeah, you know what? So like I came across, I'm because I have to keep refurnishing my stock. I got a guy just up the road, local card shop, dirty as hell, but has all the supplies I need. Um, and he gets a lot of estate sales. So like whoever is from Vancouver Island, I mean, there's card shops around here, especially in Canada. You know, by and large, they only supply hockey or Pokemon. You know, and so when baseball comes to town, it's like a big deal. So he'll always call me and he'll say, "Hey man, you should get up here. Some of the stuff's kind of beat up," but he knows that I'm more of like, well, if you don't have a 69 Seaver and you've always wanted a 69 Seaver, then it's here. And so like that's the one. I never had a 69 Seaver. It's not in good shape at all, but I still sleeved it, put it in the top loader, and it's in my collection. And the rest of it will all go in packs.
Love it. That's great, man.
Yeah, I'll keep stuff from time to time.
Yeah, I just got a 69 Seaver, and there's a little pen mark on the back of it. And
Yeah.
the card's so nice, though. I don't care. I mean, such a beautiful card, So, yeah, that 69 is such a great set. Such a great set. Really, really
what is your favorite set? Do you have a favorite set?
Well, I mean, like, probably 84 or 85 top. I mean, from my being a kid. But to go, I would say I really, really love 67 tops. 67, like a lot of the color matches are incredible on the font and the jerseys, like, the Willie Stargell, the Lou Brock, just amazing cards. The Hank Aaron. Also, when I was a kid, there was a card shop, and I looking back now, this guy, I used to spend all whatever money I had on like these cards. $10 at the time was a lot of money. They're beat up cards. They're shitty. I have now. It doesn't matter though, because to me, 67 Brockton. I got a 67 Aaron, and got a Johnny Bench rookie, a 68. But like 67s are just a gorgeous. Like you turn them over with the green, like it's a nice.
Yeah,
I'm a 60s era of Topps cards. I just love all of it. But yeah, I would say 67, and then if from my era, like 84, 85, the design's just incredible. Like the Dwight Gooden rookie, the Mattingly card, the Ricky Henderson, like so many. It just brings back so many memories too. Like when I see that thing open, the gum, the whole thing, it's just crazy. 84 will do that. About. But yeah, I would say those two. But it's hard to pick. There's so many beautiful sets throughout the years that I love. Vintage stuff,
Yeah, but not. So what you're saying is not 91 Fleer?
Not 91 Fleer, but you know what? I actually, hold on, is it? No, this is 92 Score. I actually just ripped a box of, is this? No, this isn't. I actually got a box of 91 Fleer, and the inserts are cool. The
black. Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
There's some really cool cards in there. I'm trying to remember the name of that.
But that base set
is the black ones. Series 2 is the white ones.
That's right.
On Mattingly is the white. It looks amazing. The Canseco looks insane. Like very cool.
Yeah, he's and Bo Jackson's got the bionic arm, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So man, really good. I was going to talk shit about that set, and you found the silver lining. It's pretty good.
Well, Joe's a big insert guy, and like he does he'll get the bottom of the boxes and he'll like cut the cards out he with the inserts. He's like the master of the boxes, cutting the boxes and the inserts. He knows all that stuff, man.
Okay, cool.
He puts me onto that, man.
Box panels is a cool thing. It's no one cares about them. But on the bottom of 1985, Donruss is a Dwight Gooden rookie that is just incredible. It's like a variation rookie where he's like throwing a ball up, and it's just a shot of him in the stadium. I have one right now. Autographed. I mean, just incredible. Just a great card. But 90. I would say 91 Fleer Ultra to me. If you were asking me what the worst set ever is, I would say 91 Fleer Ultra, like with
silver
the gray
border.
Although there are some, silver. There's some cool in that set too, like the gold insert. to Frank Thomas, Ricky Henderson. There's some cool, this cool interest in that, but that is absolutely hands down the worst. I don't know. Fleer was like 1 year amazing, and next year was kind of shitty. But Fleer, I love Fleer. Fleer's great. Fleer's a great company. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, and I've been revisiting '93 Leaf. That's a beautiful set.
Yeah.
You remember those ones with the you know, if it was like Brett Boone, I got to go Seattle again. Sorry, but like, you know, you turn it over and like the Space Needle was in the background, or like
the photography was insane. Even with the from 91. What was that? 91.
Yeah, the Stadium Club box is crazy.
Yeah.
Photography was just next level at those. You know, with those sometimes the back of the card, they would have the most randomest, like a guy on a cell phone, or like somebody like choking somebody. Like they'd have the most craziest pictures on the back, which made it funny. You know, it was different. It was a different twist.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, they were hiring artists at that time still to really do it. You know, the new top stuff, I think, I don't know what year, 2021, 22, whatever year it is, you look at the back, it looks like a menu or something. It is so boring. It's white.
It's the worst.
Of course, they make the cards really super boring now because of the parallels. Like they want everything to look crazy, the purples and the oranges and all that. But I mean, it's crazy because when you flip over a 1965 Topps card and you read that little, you know, little cartoon that everyone, not everybody, but most dudes have a cartoon, or they'll have a blurb, like years throughout the 60s and the 50s. Like the art wasn't just on the front, it's on the back too. And like, that's such a big part of it. Cause I can tell most years from Topps just by looking at the backs, just by looking, oh, I know that, I know that's 67. I know that's 84, you know. Now that's another thing we've lost because no one looks at the back. When I was a kid, you looked at the back, you had knowledge to talk shit. Like, yeah, whatever, bro. This dude hit 323 last year. What are you talking about? You know, like nowadays, kids got it on their phone. I get it. But like that part of the hobby, I feel like is dying. And that sucks because it's all about the artwork for the cards. They're little pieces of art to me and to Joe too. And I'm sure, you know, so.
Well, my mother used to tell me that I learned to read from baseball cards. She's like, you used to read the back. You know, you're 4 or 5 years old, just started reading stuff. And she's like, what are you talking about? You know, and it's like, I remember that. I remember like learning stats and figuring out, you know, how to figure out average. And the baseball card, you learn stuff from the back of that card. You know, we couldn't go on the computer or go find stats. You know, that was the way that you found your favorite player, or, you know, the most random player, you know. That's the way you found out. So it was a different time, you know. It was also a different time for design. You know, if you look like 70, you know, 77 had the script, and you had, you know, 78, and then, you know, now you get 80s Ricky, and then 81 had the hat. Like everything was so different every year. And now it's just like you look at it, and you're like, maybe it's just that we just came up in a great time, but you know, you look at designs now, and it's like, what? It's like,
no, and I mean, being an almost albino Irish kid from the frozen tundra of Canada, I was I could pronounce Hector Villanueva. You know what I mean? Like because of baseball cards, like because you'd be like, who the fuck is this guy? You know, and you'd have to get it out because there's some weird. I mean, hey, you got to pronounce Kirk Dressendorfer. You're gonna have to sound that out.
Mark,
that's a random.
Whatever.
It's great. So true.
That's like so. Yeah, it's funny. It's also funny how different people pronounce different players. Like they're talking player, but it'll be like, wait, why do you pronounce it that way? But because people know it from the cards. You know, it's like I always tell, like, I know the names of so many baseball players just from the cards. I don't know about all of them. I know about some of them, the ones that I like, legends, but like, you know, the names that you just learn looking at cards as a kid for years, you just know all these names, all these guys. So when you say Norm Charlton, I was like, I know Norm Charlton. I know I got cards of his somewhere. I know that name. But it's just a very cool thing. And you definitely learn so much from reading.
You also remember stuff like too from a name like you said Lee Guterman. I remember Lee Guterman. We had the game 1 against the Indians, the Yankees, and he threw a ball. It was 2 outs. All you have to do is throw it to first. He threw it down the right field line. I never forget. I slammed my remote so hard, and my mother was screaming at me. I don't remember. I just remember I got in trouble. I was so mad. I went in my room and went to bed. But I remember that game, Lee Good. That's why I remember Lee Guterman. It's things with like that is stuck in your head. Just the way you might remember you might remember a guy, not that he played, but you might remember him just from that card, the way that card looked, or the image from the card, and that's in your mind. That's how the player.
I got real quick. It's fast because we're bringing them up, and I love. Like, I don't know if this is good content for those who are watching or not. But okay, Lee Guterman, we're hammering him. We're hammering him tonight. But so he's at the end of his career with the Mariners. We kind of so my dad would take me and a couple of buddies down. Now, one of the buddies was thick. Okay, he wasn't all there. He was great though. He was great fodder because he'd say dumb shit all the time. Okay, so you got Griffey Jr. pulling in his Porsche. You got Edgar Martinez ripping in a Lamborghini, and you've got a journeyman pulling in his Mazda. It was a Mazda, and it was orange, and it was it was really beat up, and it was Lee Guterman. So Lee Guterman pulls up after all these sweet cars, man. They're hot. They're hot cars. And then he comes out and he's going to sign some autographs. And our thick buddy, he goes, "Hey, Mr. Guterman, nice truck." And we thought, my dad was like, "Oh," but he was being sincere. He was like, because he has a truck just like that. He's like, his dad, because his dad's like a welder or something. And he's like, "Oh no, I know that truck. That's a great truck." And Guterman was probably like, "Get out of here," like he probably thought he's busting his balls, but he was being sincere. I'll never forget that.
See, something like that just forever is stuck in your brain.
Forever.
Guterman in the orange Mazda. That's great.
Yeah.
We got to pull. Hey, did you pull a quarter classic out?
I did, and I was going to ask you guys, like, how long do you want? I could bullshit with you guys all night, but I should probably go. But yes,
we could end it. Quarter classic, yeah, that's how we usually do it. I mean, it's how we usually do it. If you want out a quarter classic,
all right. Well, I'll
do it. Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, so I did two. I was looking for what we'll actually choose for the card, but I was so I got a box of kind of commons that I can never part with. Like, they're not like a lot of, like, you'll see Norm Charlton and Sal Bando and Eduardo Perez, all those favorite guys. But then this guy was in here, of course. Of course, the 76 traded gamble. But I came across that en route to my actual quarter classic, which is 75 Herb Washington.
Oh, that's classic. And pinch runner.
That's all he did. That's all he did.
He's the only guy to be on a card as pinch runner.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
Love that card.
That's a classic card because I'm in the process of doing a 75 mini set. So I know that's it's taken me forever to do it because the minis aren't, they're not easy to find, especially in decent condition. But to find his card in really good condition is like not easy. It's a known thing. He has like a tough card to get in good condition. So that's cool that you pull that out.
Love it. And so I don't know the background. I don't know if I'm getting it quite right or not, but he ended up like running McDonald's or several or Burger Kings or something.
Wow.
And you can still write to him care of that corporation.
Oh, really?
And you can get him to sign it. I actually have not written to him, and I better get on it because he's getting long in the tooth. But
yeah,
man.
Yeah, people know him. He's like, he's like one of those people that everyone knows in, in baseball. It's just because of, I think he was a track star or something. He was, it was like one of those A's stunts they pulled during that time. I got something. This is because I always love, and Joe knows, I love like the off-brand stuff, even though it's a junior, but it's a post serial.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
I love
post
those.
serial 91 junior. I mean, even the backs of these things, man, it's just. This one's actually in really good condition. I got it from some dude on Facebook, but it was like, but I just, I love these like off-brand cards. And like Joe says, you'll never see these type of cards anymore. So it's like,
no.
just to have like stuff like this, what do they used to have? Drake's cards and all that stuff. So I don't know. I'm always stuck on these off-brand fun little cards.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, those are I love that stuff, man. For me, like I guess we kind of refer to those as third party or whatever. And you know, and we won't see those for 25 years at a minimum. In the way the world's going, we'll never see stuff like that. There'll be one company, baseball cards, and they'll do your electricity in your house, and they'll do all types of whatever. Anyway, Ryan, something that you said was cool. I got rid of like half my collection recently just because I had too many cards, and but I 5-row box of stuff that I won't get rid of, and it's like the quarter classic box kind of. But anyway, this is a true quarter classic because I literally got this for a quarter at Macy's Coin and Card Mart in Pennsylvania. It's a 61 Gibby, but the reason why I got it for a quarter.
Oh, there it is.
I don't care though. This is a beautiful card. It's a 61 Gibby. Like I don't care, dude. I'm a collector. I don't care. This is any Gibby's good with me. The Maniac decided to draw on the back of the card. One of my favorite cards. Nolan
but you
Bryan
know what?
rookie.
It makes me, when I see stuff like that, it makes me just feel like going back to that time that someone is just right. You know, like it's a nostalgic feeling. I know people in the hobby that think it's crazy, but who cares? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's awesome. I had a whole. I got like when I was a kid, I got a bunch of 73 tops. And whoever got had these before me, like they took a pen and they made their own update set. They were like, "Nah, trade it to Tigers." Yeah, this whole thing, it was just amazing because it's like people didn't care. Like it was a different thing. So still very cool. But yeah, man, Joe, I'm sorry. What we said?
That was a part of somebody's life. Sorry, Joe. That was a part of somebody's life, and what happened there is clearly Bob Gibson. Pitched a 2-hit shutout against the Pirates, and that guy was from Steeltown. Like that guy was pissed right off.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, you go back in time of someone's collection and, but yeah, all that stuff is great, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ryan, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. We enjoy what you do and amazing, bro. Really cool.
Guys, thoroughly enjoyed it. I was having dinner upstairs with the fam, and I said, I have an interview, and I gotta get to it. But it's weird because it's not about music. Like I gotta get up. I got a new record out, and I gotta get up tomorrow morning and start doing interviews at 8 a.m. for that. Right. But this is like I'm every bit as passionate about it, and you guys are hilarious, man. Really good hang.
Well, yeah, we love what you do, man, and make sure you send us some links to all your stuff through Twitter. Make sure to keep us updated with that. Love to share some music stories too one day.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm easy to find, man. Ryan McMahon music. Yeah, awesome. Thanks guys.
We appreciate you. Appreciate what you do, man.